So there's a lot on how to identify a high value male, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
your personality, who you are as a person, and then we can get into like looks and what you bring to the table, right? I think it was on the dating apps, they did a study that like 5% of the guys get 85% of the women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's not a coincidence. That's because women like high value men, period. Right. So we can go into the different parameters of what you identify as a man or a high value man. So off the bat, we have to address surface level thinking, right? If I see Candace at a club and you're looking for a guy or you're open for a guy and you see me, you're not going to know how awesome Justin is, that he can play the piano and he can sing and he can dance and he can do this and he can do that. And oh my God, he's so romantic. And do you know he knows a lot about engines? No, you don't know shit. The only thing you know is hot or not.
You
That's it.
remember
And
that
that's a
website?
yeah, yeah. The free Facebook. Yep. Yeah. That's the only thing you know. It's hot or not. So all these people like, oh, personality and all this stuff. Yes, that part comes later. But cut the shit. If the guy is not sexually hot to the woman is not going to go up to them. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to get that woman because she might not like you in the beginning, but you can kind of smooth her over later. You can grow on her. I've been in situations where a girl was like kind of into me, but not super into me, and then I grew on her, and now she's like obsessed with me. But typically when you meet someone, their first impression, they see you, it's based off of physical attraction, right? So now that we've said that, besides height, which you're kind of just born with, so I feel bad for the short guys that can't do anything about it, but besides height, girls like guys with broad shoulders. They like guys that work out. They like guys that have full head of hair. They like bone structure. They like certain things like that, right? For looks wise. Then it's besides the looks, it's what you have. So like what kind of car do you have? And it's not so much that they're a gold digger, it's the fact that they feel that you can secure their life. So if they have a kid or they're pregnant for 12 months or 9 months, sorry, can't do math. They're pregnant for 9 months, then they know that you'll be able to provide for them, right? That's why girls like guys with money. Not necessarily that every girl's a gold digger, but it means that this guy is a warrior and he's motivated to bring food back to the tribe and provide for the women and children. So, and nowadays, we don't have to hunt for food and bring it back to the tribe. Now we just make money and buy food. So it's the same concept, it's a different material, but it's the same core principles. So that's number one. So you need to get your finances up. You need to make as much money as possible, and put yourself in the highest probability of success. You need to work out. You need to eat healthy. You need to be sharp. You need to learn how to talk to people. No girl wants to date a guy that's just a blank slate. No girl wants to date a guy that's a stiff pickle, right? You want to date someone that is witty and goes back and forth with you, right? It's very hard. Some people are natural talkers and some people are terrible at talking. And those guys, I recommend that you just have a guy on standby that texts for you and never call her because you're going to say something and mess it up. Like 3-word answers. So these are all the obvious things that we know. After that, I would say once you get past the superficial part of it, right? Because the superficial part is important for women and guys. Well, guys, it's 100% superficial. If she's hot, it doesn't matter what career she has, how smart she is, it doesn't matter. If she's hot, I want to bang her. That's just how it works. With women look for all these things up front, even the superficial stuff that they look at. It's still like, okay, what kind of job does he have? What kind of education did he have? Is he intelligent? Is he this? Where guys are just like, oh my God, she's so hot. I want to have sex with her. Nothing else matters. I don't care where she came from. So that's the difference between guys and girls. Once you get past the superficial stage, then you want to, assuming you attract the opposite sex, now you want to become a good partner and you want to keep them, right? Like getting a high value woman it's not easy, but keeping a high value woman is even harder. So, and it's not just providing with money. Obviously, finances make a difference, and not having finances will ruin your relationship. But that's not all. It's also being trustworthy, having good communication skills, being able to say no. You'd be surprised how many fuckers can't say no.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't say no. I learned this a long time ago. My dad told me this, and he learned this from this very wise guy and this very rich guy. He says, just say no. If you can't do it, just say no. Don't straight up no. Because if you have a hard time saying no, then you're going to back out and you're going to feel inclined. And then people are going to wonder, why isn't Candace here? Or why did you cancel? And then All these things get messed up. Just say no. And the reason why that's relative to this is it's about communication. You have to communicate with your partner. You have to communicate with the opposite sex. It's all about communication, especially when you're in a relationship or you're dating or whatever. It's all about good communication. So I
Hmm.
would say a high value male is the superficial stuff for sure. Intelligence, all that, which I still think intelligence is superficial. And then your communication skills, how much you actually care about the person, being able to provide for that person. Um, and then I would say reasoning with a woman is very important too. I know a lot of guys, they go into these rages and they're just like and then they leave. It's also
Yep.
reasoning. It's push and pull, right? It's like, okay, listen, you don't like this. I don't see why you don't like this, but it doesn't matter what Justin feels. If Candace doesn't like it, then I'm going to change it because Candace doesn't like it. Period. I might think what you're saying to me is dumb. I might think that's the stupidest thing in the world. Why would you care if I talk to a girl like that? Well, it's disrespectful. Well, I don't feel like it's disrespectful. I'm not fucking her. I'm not going after her. I'm not pursuing her. We're just hanging out. Well, I feel disrespected, and that's when you go, okay, well, your core values, that's disrespectful. For my core values, it's not. But if I want to hold this boat together, I need to compromise myself, and we all need to come to the same playing field and then change. And then the biggest thing of a high value male is when you say you're going to do something, fucking do it and
Hmm.
don't go backwards. Don't do it for 2 weeks. Don't do it for a month and then do the same bullshit, because that's not a high value male. That's a guy that talks with no action. And that's a guy that I don't trust. So I would say those are some of the top things.